Welcome back, familiar to Northside LDN, and today we've got a special guest with me today to go through not a lot of rumours surrounding Arsenal. Obviously, Arsenal are fighting hard to get the Mudryk deal over the line, but some players that have been rumoured to be linked to Arsenal. Before we get into all of that, Diesel, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, listen, mate, I said to you off screen, God, I haven't seen you in ages, Northside. What's it been? What, 24 hours? 23? But no, all good, mate. All good, thank you. Yeah, another day gone. Once again, nothing going on. Much appreciated, by the way, once again for coming on mine last night, mate. Really appreciate that. And that was a great stream we did. Just wish it could be a bit of good news, really, mate. But it's dead, isn't it? It's. I don't think they realise we're going for a title. I think it's only us guys who do. I genuinely believe that. But yeah, whatever. We'll get into it, won't we?
Yeah, it's crazy. Not much has really been said at the moment. There's a couple of players being linked, but we've got the Mudryk deal. Looks like it's going to happen this week or early next week. It looks like it's about, 65 million pounds plus add-ons. I think taking out about 90 mil. And I think it's crazy, bro, because at the end of the day, we're the only team that's going in for Mudryk, and we're still being checked for almost 100 million pounds. I mean, they wanted 100 million. They're just getting 10 million off of it. And there's not even a bidding war or anything. You know, you'd expect us to be able to put it down to at least 60, 50 mil. But what do you make of the deal? Do you think we're getting a good deal, 90 mil for Mudryk, or do you think the money could have been better use elsewhere?
Do you know what? The way I look at it, right, I just Shakhtar Donetsk must feel like they've just won the lottery, you know, and that's how I look at it. You know, when you look at do you know what, Northside, I can understand negotiations take time, especially if there's 4 or 5 other clubs in the mix, right? If it's like that, I kind of get it. But we've had a straight run at this, you know, like there's no one else involved. And that's so straight away, that worries me. Now, then you hear the comparisons, the Ukrainian Neymar, you know, and if that is the case, you'd think some of the top clubs in Europe would be alerted to him and would also be in the mix, but they're not. So again, it just baffles me why is it taking so long to have got this done, especially when we heard they were looking at him last April, right? That's another thing. For me, it's other than watching him on YouTube, I've never seen him play. I've seen a few clips, but obviously I thought Sanogo looked a baller with what I saw on YouTube, and obviously we all know what happened there, right? So it's will it be a good deal? In time, we'll see. Is it something we need right now? I don't think so. I think there's more pressing matters that we need to address in the team. This, for me, could have been done in the summer. And because we know we've got him, and let's be honest, it's a matter of days and it's going to be confirmed, right? So I think it's more or less done. That tells me, mate, that the bulk of our budget has gone on this guy. And that also tells me that once he comes in, no one else is going to follow him in. So one player, and like I said to you yesterday on the stream, I'm not doubting his quality or whatever. You know, it's not about that for me. It's about what we need right now. And he hasn't played since, November. I think he's only had one season, if that, 30, 35 games. We haven't learned our lesson from Pepe, in my opinion. You know, but as I keep being told all day today, in Mikel we trust, right? So I don't know. I really don't know. We'll see. Will he come in and hit the ground running straight away like a Luis Diaz? I don't think so. And those are the players we need. So if this goes tits up, then but then again, he's so protected, this manager, that nothing will get said or nothing's going to happen, is it? So. But yeah, I'm not excited by it, if I'm honest. I don't know why. I'm just not. Yeah,
it's kind of them ones where I feel like if we just get Mudryk and we don't get a midfielder, a striker, and really tackle the midfield, because you remember the last transfer window in the summer, we were supposed to tackle the midfield problem.
Yeah,
the midfield hasn't been addressed. We still need rotation for Partey, rotation for Xhaka, rotation for Odegaard. I mean, I know you got Fabi Vieira, but he looks like he's still bedding into this league and isn't ready to kick on to actually contribute to us winning the title. I mean, he didn't even get brought on against Newcastle. So that's how much this manager rates Fabi Vieira at the moment. So we weren't supposed to tackle the midfield. And if we don't tackle it in January, I don't want to hear the excuse of, we can't do everything all at one time. We should have done it in the summer then. If we couldn't do it in January, and it's harder to do those kind of deals in January, then do it in the summer. You know, we wasn't proactive, and now we need to do it in January. If we only get Mudryk, for me, it's a poor. I'll give it a 2 out of 10. I don't think Mudryk alone is going to push us on to cement us to be favourites for the league title. I definitely don't think he gives us enough rotation, even though I do agree that we do need a winger. I don't agree with blowing, all the budget on just a winger, especially when there's so many positions that we need filling. So I hope Mudryk proves me wrong. I hope he comes over here and is an absolute baller and fits the system and is able to hit the ground running. But what's the chances? Yeah. And I said this yesterday on your channel. Fabi Vieira has come from the Portuguese league. Has he hit the ground running? Nuno Tavares has come from the Portuguese league. Has he hit the ground running? Yeah. Now, is the Portuguese league not stronger than the Ukrainian league?
Oh.
So what's the chances that this Mudryk kid's going to do it? And that's all I keep thinking. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to be doing that, especially when you have so many situations right now that we could use to our advantage. You can get a winger for 30, 40 million pounds right now. You got Zaha, you got Trossard there. You've got midfielders that are also, you can get them in a budget price, like Tielemans, etc. Why not make the most out of it? Why go and put everything into Mudryk? Listen, ultimately, we don't know what the club is planning, but it doesn't look that great when we're not really seeing a lot of links and all we keep talking about is Mudryk, as if this is the hardest deal in world football. It's really not.
But you know what though? No, sorry. See, this is where I said yesterday. Common sense nowadays isn't so common anymore, right? Because what you're going to get is you're going to get the likes of like Mikel coming out, and a lot of these supposed Arsenal super fans, right? Who are going to come out and say what you just said there. One swallow doesn't make a summer, or we can't get it all done in this window. Yeah, my argument to that is the money that you're spanking on this kid, that could have rectified all the areas for us. That could have beefed up the squad. That money that we're spending on Mudryk, right, could have got 3 or 4 players in. When you think, staggered payments, etc., right? So 60, 70 million could get you 3 players. Could. And I tweeted it earlier on. Trossard's agent has come out now saying that, he's had a big bust up with Roberto De Zerbi. So it's in the best interest of both parties for them to let Trossard leave. That was earlier on today on Twitter, right? And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, do you know what? That's a buying signal. That is a buying signal. That is a signal for Arsenal to say, look, what if he's up for grabs, we'll take him. Zaha, I personally believe, would come in and have a bigger impact than what Mudryk will, purely because he's Premier League proven, he knows the league, and as a bonus, he supports Arsenal. He supports he supports the club. He's going to work his socks off for the club. It's his club, and I just look at it and I think all this money on, and also chasing him for all this time. Even if he does come next week, we've now got just over a week left, until it closes again. And just say he comes in and gets injured. Say Eddie gets injured. And I just beef up the squad. You said it yourself, like Tielemans is in the last 6 months. Would Leicester rather cash in now and get a bit of money for him, or let him go in the summer and they get zilch? Like, I just don't understand it. So like, for me, it's backwards, mate. It's absolutely backwards. And it just shows what I've always said and what you've always, you guys as well. The club, when it really comes to the crunch north side, and I don't care what anybody tells me, right? When it really, really comes to it, they don't want it. They don't want it. They can talk, actions speak louder than words. They can give it all the mouth, all the rabbit. When it comes to it, they don't want it, mate. And I think we're seeing that now. I genuinely believe that.
100%. No matter where you stand on Arsenal, let me just say, no matter where you stand on Arsenal, all of us can give praise of where we are right now. We're top of the league, and the squad are performing above the expectation of what we thought they'd be doing this season.
Yeah.
But the one thing that we can all say as Arsenal fans right now is that bench isn't looking promising. No. And when you're looking into that Newcastle game, even the manager isn't looking favorably on players that he brought in. And that is where, for me, I feel like we have to tackle the bench. There is no other way that anybody can put it towards me. That I can't understand anybody just being happy with just Mudryk. You're telling me before when the season started and we only got Gabriel Jesus, we were one of the few people that were saying, what happens if Gabriel Jesus gets injured? Now, Eddie Nketiah, to be fair to him, he has been decent. Can he keep up to the end of the season? Have we ever seen him being able to keep up for the whole season? Even last season, with 10 games to go, he didn't score in every game. He scored a brace against Chelsea. He scored a couple of goals, but ultimately not enough to get us into the top 4. So why am I going to trust him from now, from January, going into all the way till May? He's going to be able to score enough goals to keep pace with Man City.
Yeah,
I don't see it. And I can give him praise, but at the end of the day, he's never shown me to be the star striker, the main guy that can carry the attack for Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
And what happens if he gets injured? Because we're back into the same problem. Jesus got injured, we've got Nketiah. Now, if Nketiah gets injured, God forbid, who have we got? Who's the backup for him? Okay, you put Martinelli in that
Martinelli.
position. Now you've got less rotation for the wingers.
Yeah, and the system's gone to pot, right? So yeah, it's
the same thing. And the thing is, you can apply that logic around the whole squad. Who's going to be rotation for Saka? Who's the rotation for Odegaard? Fabi Vieira, how good is he? If he's that great, why didn't he come on against Newcastle then? If he's that great, because he ain't that great, and that is by the manager. That is the impression we got by the manager that brought him in. Then you're looking at Xhaka. Xhaka's been excellent this season.
Yeah,
a player that I've cussed a lot. That when you look at his last 6 years and you take away this season, he's been atrocious. But this season he's been great. But who else is going to give us what he gives us from deep as a deep line playmaker in this squad? Because I don't think Lokonga's ready. Once again, we've seen from Lokonga absolutely nothing from him against in the Oxford game. He absolutely did nothing, provided absolutely nothing, and that's a fact. I saw so many channels saying it, and I'm like, this is what we've been saying. We haven't seen anything from Lokonga. So is he good enough? If God forbid, touch wood again, something happens to Xhaka. Then you look at Thomas Partey, the same thing. Since he's been at Arsenal, he's had a very bad injury record. Will he be able to fill in for Thomas Partey if, God forbid, something happens to Thomas Partey? Then you look at the centre-backs. We've got Gabriel and we've got Saliba. Very good centre-backs. Ben White is now our best right-back. So you can't really count him in. And if you do want to, if Saliba or Gabriel get injured, you put Ben White in that position. Okay, cool. If you put Ben White in the centre back position to cover for one of them, the right backs that we've got, Tomiyasu and Cedric, are they good enough?
No.
We're trying to flog Cedric over to Fulham, and Tomiyasu's been skinned so many times this season. He's having a really bad season, in my opinion. So this is the problem that we have. It's like people are like, oh, but you can pin this guy. As soon as you move, because we don't have the rotation, as soon as you move somebody else to cover for someone, then you lack rotation or quality in another position. That's not good enough. That's not being proactive as a club.
No, do you know what? It's not. It's always. Do you know what? It's always been this way, even before Arteta was here, because we had a lot of this under Wenger. It's square pegs in round holes. That's why they buy players who can play in 2, 3, 4 positions, right? I'm a massive fan of what was it? A jack of all trades. No, was it the jack of all trades, master of none? I'd rather, what I'm saying is Ben White. If he gets injured, Tomiyasu comes in or Cedric comes in, it upsets the formula. One of the main reasons why we're playing really well this season and we're top of the league and we're winning games is because, let's be honest, he doesn't tinker, right? Me and you, Northside, barring injury, right, we can guarantee what the lineup is going to be against Spurs. We can guarantee what the lineup is going to be against Man City. Over the years, we've never been able to do that, right? Because there are changes made. I'm a massive believer of team cohesion, right? So when you look at Jesus, and let's be honest, we were crying out for a striker before Jesus was injured. We needed one anyway. All this has done is accelerated it, right? So Eddie comes in, he gets 2 goals in 2 games. All of a sudden, everyone does a complete 360, and now he's the next Thierry Henry, right? So you look at that. My thing is, can he do it? Can he cut the mustard in the big games, right? But I said it to you yesterday. The mindset of a lot of Arsenal fans and this board is still top 4 because it's been ingrained into us subliminally over the years. We are going for a title. Right? When you're going for a title, there are levels, there's different rules to going for a title than to going for top 4. If you go for top 4, Eddie, cool, keep him. You're going for a title, you need better. I love Jesus, but not everyone forgets he hasn't scored for 7, 8 games. Do you know what I'm saying? So really, if we're all going to sit here and say a striker's main job is to score goals, Haaland has 8 touches a game? It doesn't affect the game, but he'll bang in 2 goals. That's good enough for me. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's I look at that and I just think, it's you look at this, and also Europa League's coming now. You know, that's starting up again soon. You know, these players, we're going to flog them. I'm telling you now, we are going to flog them. And to be fair, from their point of view, they must want a bit of help. They must want to see some new faces coming in. Just give the dressing room a lift. Like we said yesterday, like Sir Alex Ferguson, the magic of that guy, what I loved about him, even after winning a league, right, he didn't rest on his laurels. He always got 2-3 quality players in every summer, keep it fresh, keep it hungry, and keep these players on their toes, as if to say to them, look, you had a great season. You dare drop a level, I've got this man over here who's itching to take your spot. And it keeps that competitive edge. I look at Arsenal and it's win, lose, draw, play good, play crap. You're starting next week. You know, and it will catch up with us, mate. We've been very lucky this season. Like, let's have that right. We've been lucky in every aspect of this league. We have been lucky. But luck runs out eventually, mate. We all know that, right? So, I don't know what to...
It's a fact. And when you rest on your laurels, we've got 2 examples. And I said this yesterday. And we've got 2 examples of that in the Premier League. Chelsea started resting on their laurels, buying players like Drinkwater, buying players like Loftus-Cheek, persisting with Perisic, persisting with Pulisic, persisting with Hudson-Odoi. These players that are not good enough, not buying the quality, not going out in the transfer window and doing what needs to be done, properly scouting players. And look at them. Look at them now. That squad is a shadow of the squad when they used to have Ballack and they used to have Essien and they used to have Didier Drogba and they used to have Lampard and all those players like that. Look at the squad now.
Yeah.
In football, especially the Premier League, you cannot rest on your laurels. You can't go into a transfer window and say, oh, you know what? This is a free hit transfer window. Well, you know what? We're not going to do what needs to be done. Oh, you know what? We got holes, but we're not going to address it. That's what Liverpool did. 5 years needed a midfielder, didn't go and buy midfielders. Yeah, and then the ones that they bought Naby Keita, they bought Fabinho and stuff, and then allowed their squad not to be the midfield, not to be rejuvenated for 4 or 5 seasons. And now you look at them. Now you look at their squad. They've got no playmaker. They got no their CDM. They need another one. They need a deep line playmaker. They need a number 10. They need everything because they haven't addressed what needed to be done. And Arsenal can fall for all the good that we're doing, and we're doing excellently. Yeah, I'm glad that Odegaard is starting to shut me up slowly, you know, but he doesn't need to turn up against the big teams. But I'm glad to see that. I'm glad that Zinchenko and Jesus has really pushed us on this season.
Yeah,
now continue. If we're seeing that one, and I said this yesterday. The one thing that annoys me with Arsenal, when we see something is working, why not keep doing it? We bought Zinchenko and Jesus. It's brought us now up into this point, being in the title race. Why not continue this trend? Why not go out there for Zaha? Why not go out there for Trossard? It's a proven method. Go out for the players that are doing it within your league. And you mentioned Sir Alex Ferguson. The players that he used to add every time he won the season were players that were doing it in his league, mainly. You know what I'm saying? When he went and got Cristiano Ronaldo, from Sporting Lisbon. But when he got Tevez was balling out for West Ham. When he got Berbatov, he was balling out for Spurs. Do you know what I'm saying? Come on.
Carrick, another one. And do you know what? We're talking about a man here who would actually stop players once they landed at the airport and convinced them to sign for him. This is a manager who stopped players once they got off the plane. I mean, so, for me, stuff like that, I just love. But, you're right, mate. You're right. And it's listen, Arsenal over the years, right? We've never had a spine. Right, we've now got one. When you look at Ramsdale, you've got Gabriel, Saliba, Partey, Odegaard, Jesus. Right, it's that sprinkle that magic dust around them, north side. And what annoys me is that, and this is what frustrates me more so this season than any other season. It's because we're close. We're actually close. Like when you're in you're in a tunnel, it's dark, and then you keep walking, moving forward, and you start to see that bit of light. Arsenal were like, right, don't stop, keep going. You're getting closer and closer, right? And this is what I'm saying. Like you said it there, with Chelsea. What you just said there, when you name Lampard, Terry, for 2 seasons, one of the best midfielders I ever saw. I thought for 2 seasons he was class. Was Michael Essien, beast? Yeah, you're talking men and boys. It's the same with us when we say Adams, Keown, Campbell, and you look at these boys now. But it was men. you know, and they haven't got that. My argument is Chelsea are in disarray. They've got a manager they don't want, albeit I think they're being harsh on him, right? But take advantage of what's going on at Chelsea, because Chelsea have had their pens down over the years. They were the London team. They're not anymore, right? Take advantage of it. Spurs can't string 2 wins together. Like they're at loggerheads with their manager. He might walk. Let's take advantage of that. Man United, yes, they've won games. In my opinion, haven't played anyone yet. We'll see how they measure up against Man City. Take advantage of that. Man City, yes, still getting results, but they've been a little bit iffy, right? They're due a blip. Take advantage of that. I'm looking at all of this. I'm thinking, Arsenal, it's there for you. And I said to you yesterday, it's like all these teams are opening the door. All we've got to do is walk through it. That's all we got to do. But we don't want to. Yeah, it's that mindset. We can run away with it. Yeah, but all I get told is, yeah, but he's not buying, she's not buying. Why are we bothered about all these other clubs? Let's focus on our in-house. Yeah, let's look at all we want to do is throw stones. I don't understand. I don't get that. Once we win the title, we can say what we want to these other teams. Until then, keep your mouth shut and crack on. It's as simple as that. But
doesn't it kind of make it feel like it's a BTEC season, like the BTEC season to when Leicester won the league? Where, okay, it's not as bad as that season because all the top 6 fell off that season. But most of the top 6 teams are not that great. Like you said, Chelsea are not that great. Liverpool aren't that team. You know what I mean? Man United, yeah, they're doing good, but they still need a couple of players up there. They haven't really got the full squad, even though Ten Hag is building something. You know, Man City look like a team that can get got at. Look at how they lost against Southampton. You know what I mean? They can get got at. If you stick it on, every time they're getting stuck it on them, they're either leaking goals or they're losing. So at the end of the day, when, like you said, man, we have to use everything to our advantage. For me, what doesn't make sense to me is we are a self-sustaining club. That's the model that we've got, like Liverpool. Yeah. When we spend the big boy piece like we are against Mudryk, to go and get Mudryk, we cannot miss. When Liverpool sold Coutinho and went out there and got Alisson and they got Van Dijk, they knew they couldn't miss. Obviously, hindsight's amazing. We look back and great buys to them. You know, got them a Champions League, got them a Premier League, etc. Yeah. But you have to get it correct, because then we're not the type of clubs like Man City that can keep just re-spending that all the time, every transfer window. Not saying we're broke, but we can't spend that every transfer window on one player, 80 mil, 90 mil. So when you do that, you've got to be sure that is the player. And the thing is, it just feels like with this Mudryk guy, there's too many holes in it. You know, the division he's coming from, the fact that he hasn't had a good season. And when you look at other players coming into the Premier League that's only had one good season, i.e. Darwin Núñez, they're not looking that great. He's coming from a league that you're looking at, you're thinking, man, if we call France a farmers league, and that's like, what, the 5th strongest league in the world? What's this league? When you're looking at it, you're thinking, I mean, is this guy really good enough to spend that? I mean, we spent that on Pepe coming from the French league, which is a stronger league, you would imagine, that has more of a reputation of world-class players coming from that league than from Ukraine. And look at how that worked out. So why are we doing that again now with an even bigger risk? You know, how much are we going to get for Pepe? If it doesn't work out with Mudryk, how much more money are we going to get for Mudryk? Are we in that kind of position? Especially, you know, it just feels frustrating. It just feels like every time there's opportunity to be made, we don't go in there and do it. But listen, I want to get your opinion on this player being linked to Arsenal, because there are a couple of players that have been linked to Arsenal, even though the news is hella quiet at the moment. Yeah. Declan Rice. Now, we're definitely getting the Mudryk signing over the line. 60 mil plus add-ons. I think it's going to turn it up to about 90 million pounds, roughly around that ballpark. Declan Rice. I mean, I want to get your opinion on it first. Declan Rice has been touted to go for about 100 mil plus. Would you want Declan Rice? Do you even think Arsenal have the money to even afford a Declan Rice in this transfer window?
Do you know what? I'm going to be totally honest, and I know this is a bit of an unpopular opinion. I do think Declan Rice is a tad overrated, you know. Very good player. I'm not saying he's crap. Far from it, right? Very good player. Would I spend 100 million on him? No, I wouldn't. And I don't think Arsenal would. I've always said I can see him going Chelsea. I've always said that. I think there's 2 transfers I've always said from day one that will happen, in my opinion. Harry Kane going to Man United and Declan Rice going Chelsea. And I think Rice going Chelsea is best mates with Mason Mount. It's a London club, and they will pay the money. We won't. I think there are better out there, North Side. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, and obviously, so, the caveat to that, he's British as well, but for 100 million, if it was 50, 60, yeah. 100 million, no. I just think it's too overpriced. I don't think he's done enough for me to think 100 million, I don't care, get him. So I do, and we do overhype our British players. But for me, I just think he's a tad overhyped. He's not done it yet for me. So he's not at that level yet. So I would say no. It depends on the price. What do you think?
Do you know what? You said everything that I was going to say.
That's one mind, didn't it?
That's literally it. Like, bro, I'm so sick, of English players being overhyped. Like, there's some of them that are deserving of the hype. I think Jack Grealish is an absolute baller, technically sound. I think the system that he's got at Man City kind of nullifies a lot of his greatness. And you know that Pep is very meticulous of how he wants you to play. You have to play exactly how he wants you to play, or you ain't playing. I think Jack Grealish isn't overhyped. I think he's an absolute baller. He's somebody that, away from a lot of other players, he doesn't need like this explosive pace. The guy technically is a baller. He's got vision, he can pass, he knows how to find the back of the net. We just need to see the best of that in the Man City system. That is an English player that I don't think is overrated. Now, Declan Rice, for me, heavily overrated. For me, I think he's a big fish in a small pond. I think that is what I look at when I look at Declan Rice. And the reason for it is, every time I see him play, he doesn't dominate the midfield. He never, like Thomas Partey runs with the ball and tries to create something, tries to spark a counter-attack. I don't see that from Declan Rice when I've watched him. Not saying that he needs to play like a Granit Xhaka, but what I'm saying is, be the spark to the counter-attack. I don't see that from Declan Rice. I don't think he has an amazing range of pass. I don't think a lot of times he wants to receive the ball in a pivot in the midfield. I think a lot of times he just wants to get the ball and then just release it and then just sit there. But I don't think he's dominant enough in the midfield for me, especially for that kind of price tag. I think there's other CDMs that are better for me, and it's not because he's Portuguese, but I think Palhinha is levels above this guy.
Oh yeah, please, quality, yeah. But you know what? Again, what you say that. I've said it all the time. There's always been snobbery in football. Always. Right? It always will be. Palhinha, if he was at a top club, people would be talking about him non-stop. He's at Fulham. Right? And as much as they're having a good season, he's at Fulham. Right? And for me, like, you're right. He's a very, again, it's a gem that I think, Arsenal, what are your scouts doing? Like, you missed him. It's I'll take him over a Declan Rice. I just think he's very overhyped. I really do. And we do this in this country. We're very quick to hype him, equally as quick to knock him down, right? Partey, for me, has got a presence. He's a midfield boss. I look at Declan Rice. He's not a boss. He doesn't strike fear. I mentioned his name earlier on, Michael Essien. Do you remember, also those? It wasn't long, but he had those 2 seasons at Chelsea where, for me, head and shoulders the best midfielder in the league. He was a boss. He wasn't the biggest of guys, but he was a boss. Partey, I see Partey run games, dictate the tempo.
Makalele.
Everything.
Take it back to Makalele. Yeah? That is the reason why Real Madrid didn't even win as much as they should have in the Galacticos.
Do you know what? And I've always said this, right? Zidane, class, brilliant. Don't get me wrong. But I'll tell you something, Zidane owes a lot to that guy because he won't get the headlines. But he did all Zidane's dirty work. He was the hod carrier. But it's all about Zidane, and rightly so. But don't forget this guy here, because without him, Zidane wouldn't have been as good as. Do you get what I mean? So,
yeah.
But he's overhyped.
The thing, we've seen ballers. So when you've seen ballers, and you're old enough to have seen a lot of ballers, top ballers. When people start overhyping a Declan Rice, listen, the guy's not a bum. I still think he's worth about 50 mil, only because he's still young and he's British. I still think he's worth about 50, but 100 to 120 mil. No. Come on. And it's not because I don't think Arsenal are not going to get him. I don't want him to come to Arsenal. I don't think he's good enough. And like you just said, bro, when Palhinha's going for £20 million over to Fulham, I mean, what is going on here? You know, that is the Portuguese player that I wanted, not Fabio Vieira, but it is what it is. Declan Rice, bro, they can overhype him as much as they want. He'll get found out. I think he's a decent player, but not the level that I would want, especially not for that money. But listen, I'm not going to knock West Ham. West Ham got to make their money, innit? They don't regularly.
Oh no, look, you know, of course, there's always going to be a premium, right? If they're English players, you know. I just think I've got a lot of respect for Mark Noble. You know, not the best football player, but my God, what a captain! You know, he was Mr. West Ham, same as Tony Adams was to us. With Mark Noble leaving, for me, Declan Rice hasn't done enough to step in those boots and say, right, now I'm Mr. West Ham. He doesn't control games. He has decent games, of course, but he doesn't. Do you get what I mean? Like, you're right in what you say. West Ham level, yeah, everyone's raving about him, but in a big club, in a big team, couldn't he still do it, or is he just one of the lads? You know, and I think that's, for me, that the jury's out. But I do think he'll go Chelsea. I really do.
There you go. Yeah. Listen, next player, Vlahovic, our best bud, our best mate, your best mate. Vlahovic being entitled to come to Arsenal. We already know the drama that's going on with Juventus and their board and board members getting fired and them being in financial situations. For me, I'm going to go first on this one. This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to keep it nice, short and sweet. For me, the way that he treated our links and the way that when we were trying to talk to him last January and the way that he dismissed Arsenal, I wouldn't even consider bringing him to Arsenal, because it just shows that you're a bit of a, you know, you're not really sold on it. It's just now that it's popping off, now you want to jump ship because of the things that's going on with Juventus. And to be honest with you, his time at Juventus, when I was watching him, because everybody was always overhyping this guy, we needed a striker and I wanted a striker and I thought he would do, but I didn't overhype him. I just feel like it's a bit underwhelming for the amount of money that they want, 100 million to 120 million. Another player to me that's overrated. But in all honesty, there's not many world-class strikers, which is why I wanted João Felix, because there's not much option. All the world-class strikers, they're all over 30. You got Benzema, you got Lewandowski. All those strikers are way over, you know, they're in their late 30s. There's not... What strikers right now that in their prime, take away Haaland, because that's not going to happen, and take away Mbappe, because we're not going to get them to. What other strikers are world class, you know? But at the same time, this guy, nah, is he really ripping up trees over there in the Italian league? No. So do I see him doing it here in the Premier League? No. I think there's better options that we can go for, and I think that's just a bit too much money for a player that, for me, just, yeah, he doesn't seem that great. What do you make of Vlahovic? Would you have him in this transfer window? Would you go for him?
No, I wouldn't. Not for that price. And also, look, he come out and said, and do you know what? I do agree with him on this, but he questioned the ambition of Arsenal, right? He done that, and I totally agree with him. I think we all did. However, he still openly come out and said it. Then my whole thing is, listen, I'll say what I want, but at least this is my club, you know. So we'll talk about our club. When an outsider starts talking like that, you do kind of get protective, right? So for me. Listen, this is where we have to. I haven't forgotten. You know, we are the Arsenal. We're a big club. You know, we showed an interest. You know, you didn't bite. You know, there ain't no second chances for me, no son. You know, we have to get back to that mindset of we are the Arsenal. If we show you interest, you should be running over here. For you to be nah. Well, then see ya. You know, and like I keep saying, you know, average players are starting to go for 80 million, 90 million. Average. You know, so it's even more. I'm more so now looking at the scouts at Arsenal and thinking, well, hang on a minute. These smaller clubs are getting gems, picking them up left, right, and look at Brighton. Brighton lose their best players every season, yet they still replenish, right? With quality players. And I think that's just little old Brighton. What about us? You know, I did want to mention very quickly as well, because no one's really mentioning this, right? The Arteta thing. Marquinhos, right? The games I've seen him play, he looks okay. Like I call him like a rough diamond. Needs a bit of polishing up, right? We're meant to have a top grade A quality coach. We're about to spunk 70-odd million on Mudryk. Wouldn't you rather invest in this boy here that we've got? Polish him up, and then we save ourselves 70 million. But again, no one's going to question that, are they? Because it's Arteta. But anyway, no, listen, mate. If I'm one of them, I've seen it. You know, we've been calling it with like Jesus and Zinchenko coming in, Premier League proven. I'm all about Ivan Toney, man. Like, you know, when we get he's the one I want, barring obviously if he gets off this court thing. For me, I want players who have been here, done it, and doing it. You know, so he'd probably be half of that. Half. You know, so I'd rather go for that. So no, I wouldn't.
There you go. I don't think you can argue with that. Milinkovic-Savic, another name I'm sick and tired of hearing every transfer window, every week, every day. Honestly, if I don't ever hear this guy's name again, I won't shed a tear. It's got to the point where I personally don't even want him. Like, how great is he? He kept getting linked to Man United a couple of years ago. Nothing happened there, obviously. And now he keeps getting linked to Arsenal. Could this be another Koulibaly? Because you remember when Koulibaly kept getting touted around as well. I know it was for Napoli, but another Italian side. And every year Koulibaly's on the move. Koulibaly's on the move. Never move. Then comes to the Premier League and it's underwhelming. I think Milinkovic-Savic could be that as well. Like, I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of sick and tired of this guy. Like, is there no other players out there? I mean, Benfica always unearthing gems. You know, they just sold Darwin Núñez. Now they got this new guy. I think he's called Trop or something. Some young Danish winger that they bought for 10 million euros. I bet he'll go for 80 million. You know, how come they're always good at scouting? They bought Enzo Fernandez for 10 million. And now look how much he's being touted for 80 million. You know, you look around Europe, clubs like Benfica, Porto, all these clubs that don't have the riches of the Premier League and the way that they're able to find gems and being able to, you know, bring in players for 10 million, 15 million euros and then flip a profit on them for 70, 80, 90, 100 million. You know what I mean? Why can't we do that? We have more money. So we should be able to have more scouts, better scouts, you know, more resources. And I'm not seeing it. It's the same old names like Milinkovic-Savic getting, you know, brought out there. At first, I wanted Milinkovic-Savic, you know, 27 years old. He's been touted as probably the best or one of the best midfielders in Serie A. But how come we're the only ones looking at him, you know? And I don't know. What do you make of Milinkovic-Savic?
Yeah, I really like him, you know. He's one where I'd look at and think, yeah, if Arsenal can make that happen, do it. I've seen box to box. I think he'd suit us. I think he'd be a really good player, like as you said, like 27 as well. It's hard, isn't it? Because like in the league like this, it's so unforgiving. You know, the Italian league. I'm always a bit wary of that because obviously players over there get so much time on the ball, whereas over here it's not like that. But then there are times as well, sometimes where you can't always play it safe. You got to take a punt. You know, and yeah, I think he's a quality player. But again, you know, I would argue that, well, hang on a minute. I've always been an advocate of this North Side. We've got gems in this league. You know, so I just don't see why we don't do that. And I've always said as well, one thing I've never understood about Arsenal, you know, Alexis Sanchez, one of the best players I've seen, especially like this modern era, right? Martinelli's coming in, and obviously what a baller he is. And I'm like, you're missing a trick here. That South American market, I'm telling you, we should have so many scouts in and around that place, like that Chile, but you know, that. But it just I don't know. We just don't. We was linked. I forgot his name now. That the Chile midfielder. Forgot his name. Quality player, hard-working. But they come from nothing, Northside. If I'm being honest, you know, the majority of these South American, you know, as Sanchez says, yeah, young, playing ball. I couldn't afford boots, playing barefoot in the fields, rough playgrounds and stones on the floor. And, you know what I mean? They work hard. Like, you know, they come from, they're not privileged like how a lot of us are over here. A lot of the English players are. They come from nothing, literally nothing, right? Explore that market. Martinelli does not stop. His work rate is sick. Sanchez carried us on his own, on his back for however many years. So, explore that, but for whatever reason they won't. But yeah, look,
you've even got the World Cup, bro. You've even got the World Cup. I mean, Amrabat, he was a baller.
Another one, yeah.
Onani was another baller. What's going on with that? Take a punt on them. I think that both of them were only worth like 10, 15 million euros each. Okay, cool. Was probably going to go up to 25, maybe up to 30. Take a punt.
Yeah, 30's cheap. In football world, 30 million's cheap. That's cheap.
Everyone was raving about him after the World Cup. Take a punt on it. I'll take the Amrabat. The way he played, bro. He would be a great number 2 to Thomas Partey. Onani, great midfielder, tidy midfielder, man. The guy was sourcing in the World Cup. Why not go and get them? I don't understand. There's all these players, whether you want to look at the World Cup, when you want to look at other players, like you said, in the South American market, it works for Portugal. So why can't we get them? And if teams, all due respect, I mean, I am a Benfica fan, but if Benfica can attract them, if Porto can attract them, if Sporting can attract them, how can you're telling me Arsenal can't? Of course we can. But if you ain't got the money, then you need to be smarter than the competition. We don't have certain money that other teams have. Yeah, we're not broke. We're not as broke as the media tries to, or this club tries to play it out that we are. But there's players there. And why are we not going in there and getting these players over the line? I just don't understand why we just don't do it. I don't get it.
Yeah. And this is what I'm saying, right? It's we listen. We talk about the scouts a lot, but like the manager as well. I mean, Mikel Arteta watches games. He would have watched the World Cup. And that is a classic example. Amrabat, you're asking me about Declan Rice, 100 million plus, by the way, plus. If it's not 100, it's going to be above, right? You got a player here, Amrabat, and for me, I like players. I'm not a lover of superstars. In terms of, I like players who just get their nut down and all of a sudden work. They're workers. Amrabat is that kind of player. He just gets his no ego, none of that. He's a worker, right? He's a worker. I wanted Wijnaldum, right? When he became available. Crying out for him, Arsenal. Look, you got, my God, a worker. You know what I mean? That water carrier in midfield. I love players. That's why I always rave about Milner, the Gareth Barrys. I love those players. Old school players, rarely injured, always give you a 7 out of 10. Monreal, when we had him, weren't brilliant, but my God, you know what you're getting out of these boys. You're getting 7 out of 10. You're getting hard work. And I love players who work hard. Amrabat is a fraction of what Declan Rice would be, but I guarantee you give you more. So yeah, you're right, mate. It's these, the World Cup. It's such a window for for all the clubs to sort of have their scouts, over there and watching these games. Not just the big games, but the games that are not deemed the little games, if you like, or whatever. They're the games, really, mate, where you can pick up a gem or two.
Well, even if you look at Crystal Palace, they got Olise and they got Eze. I rate both of them boys.
I've always liked Eze. Yeah.
I like both of them. Why not? I mean, Patrick Vieira, I'm sure we could, do a little deal with him. Do you know what I mean? Ex-Arsenal, I'm sure he'll be more than happy if we play, a decent amount for the pair of them or one of them, that he'll do business with Arsenal. Why not exploit that? Exploit the fact that Patrick Vieira is an Arsenal legend. Exploit the fact that I don't see us flexing like that. I don't see us flexing like that.
No, we don't.
City. How long? You remember back? Clichy went over there. We had Nasri go over to Man City. We had Adebayor go over there. Why don't we do that to other smaller clubs? It's happened to us for how long, bro? All our best players. I remember when we used to be a bit of a feeder club, even for Barcelona. Do you know what I'm saying? You have to do that. It's a football pyramid. You got to look down and say, yo, I'll take that player. That's a player. That's a baller. I'll take him. You know what? We are who we are. We're taking him. We're having him. And I don't see that from Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? I'm seeing us go all in for Mudryk. And listen, we'll see ultimately, the ultimate judgment, the ultimate show I'll have on the transfer window is when this window is closed. But we need a lot more than Mudryk, man. Mudryk doesn't solve the midfield, and there's a lot in the midfield that needs to be shored up. And he doesn't do enough as well in the attacking areas, because I think he plays as a left winger. I think he only plays predominantly on the left wing. So I don't think he's really going to cover on the right wing, and he's not going to cover as a striker. So he doesn't solve that either.
No, but it's like some of your guys in the chat mentioning McAllister at Brighton. Again, another one.
Great shout.
Do you know what the thing is? Right, again, I've got my Arsenal hat on, where I'm still looking too far in the past, but we're Arsenal. Some of these players we've mentioned, when you look at the clubs they're at, with all due respect, I don't mean to be rude. you're talking chalk and cheese Northside. Like, you're talking, you know, even when Bissouma was at Brighton, I don't care if people are saying, oh, he's gone Spurs, he ain't done nothing. That doesn't necessarily mean he come to Arsenal and flop. Doesn't mean that, right? You know, but McAllister, for example, is at Brighton. Bissouma was at Brighton. Arsenal come up here. Trust me, it's not going to take these players too long to think about it. Look, let's be honest. And do you know what? Another trick Arsenal are missing. There are players, I believe, who may have said no to us or may have had second thoughts a year ago. We're top of the league. They come to us. They're likely got a good chance of winning a title, right? So let's make it count. While we're at the top, and we've got the youngest squad in the league, and that, again, that has an appeal, right? We're in London. We've got a lovely stadium. We're massive worldwide. All these things, and I've said it so many times on my stream, right? Arsenal, for me, are like a sleeping giant. It's all there in place. The infrastructure, it's all there. It's there. It's just waiting for someone to come, grab it, and run away with it, right? I look at what Roman did at Chelsea. You know, he was obsessed with being the best. I have to be the best. Yes, some unconventional ways, and maybe some people don't like the way he sacks managers. But ultimately, don't rest on your laurels. You know, if you're struggling or you're not winning games, you know, your job's on the line. That keeps the manager awake. Do you know what I'm saying? And can you knock it? It's brought them success, right? So I look at Arsenal and I think to myself, well, it's all there for us. It's all there. Like, why would you? It's just that extra 2 or 3 steps that we're reluctant to take. And that's what winds me up because we're so close, you know? But, I don't know.
Exactly. Big up Taib, big up Northside and Diesel, big up yourself, man. Big up yourself. Dwight York and Andy Cole. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You know what I mean? Fergie, bro, that guy was lethal. I think him and their negotiator, they used to like kind of take it in terms of who's going to outdo each other in deals of getting players into the club. You know what I mean? And look at the way they assembled team after team after team. You know, we're struggling to just mount one team that's going to be able to win the Premier League. I mean, come on, man. I expect better, man. I expect better than this. I can't lie. But yeah, it's mad. How are you feeling for the North London derby? Just a little change of pace. How are you feeling for the North London derby? I feel quite calm, you know.
Yeah, I'm not really. Do you know what? The only thing I think is obviously, you know, our record there is. I'm not one who tends to go with stats, but you know, our record there is horrendous. Same as what theirs is at our place. I think the Harry Kane thing. I do believe in scripts in football. Some things are just written in the stars, right? So, you know, he's very close to breaking Jimmy Greaves' record. And what's the chances of him doing it against Arsenal? So, like, I do look at that. I don't think we'll lose. I after the Newcastle game, I kind of look at it and think, right, that may have been our first little obstacle. You know, there was a few whispers of, we had no plan B. You know, we huffed and puffed and we couldn't blow the house down, right? So we'll see what the response is against Spurs. If I was Spurs and I was Conte, I'd be showing them the match at our place where we took the piss out of them, literally, and I'd be all about revenge. You know, let's make sure they don't do that to us again in our backyard. So I think Spurs will be up for it. I think they're all going to want to try and do it for Kane and help him get the record against us. But I say it all the time, it's as simple as this for me. If Spurs turn up and Arsenal turn up, we're winning. We're winning. We're a better side. Right? But we've got to show it and not get intimidated by going there. Yeah? Arteta, and again, ex-Arsenal player, ex-Arsenal captain, he should know more than anyone what a derby like this means to us. So it's his job now to get it in get in the players' heads. And if we do that, mate, then I can't see any problems. However, I do think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I can't see us winning. And I can't see us losing, so I think it'll be a 2-2 draw. I think Spurs, it's not about fun for me. This is a North London. They will raise it against us. So I might be wrong, but yeah.
You not feel like we can exploit their defense? Because when I look at that defense, for me, Perisic I don't rate, Langley I don't rate, Dyer I don't rate, Doherty I don't rate, and if they play Skip next to Højbjerg, I don't rate Skip either. So when I'm looking at it, only Romero is the only one I really rate. The goalkeeper, I think he's on the decline, to be honest. I think Lloris was a great goalkeeper before, but I think he's on the decline. So I know, they're going to play a back five, and they're going to do all of that and make sure they're hard to beat. But if you catch Dyer, if you catch Langley, if you catch Doherty 1-on-1, we should be able to put them on their ass and go through it and score. But it kind of just depends how brave we are. For me, Tottenham are way too top heavy. Against Crystal Palace, they had Hill that played all right, but I don't think he's ready for it to be a starter. You got Son that's hot and cold. For me, I think Son, this is why I don't think Son is world class. World class is not turn up when you feel like it. World class is turn up every game or near enough almost every other game. I think the only world class player they got is Kane. And I know Kane loves playing against us. But when you're looking at their team,
do you think he's? See, I get this question all the time. I don't think Kane's world class, but I established world class on a number of factors. But would you say he is?
I think he's a world class finisher, not a world class player. I think he's a world class finisher. I think the mentality's not there. I think the mentality of
that's what I question.
Yeah, I think the mentality of like a world class mentality is what you saw from Mbappe in the World Cup. That's world class mentality, man.
Yeah,
And to be honest, before he scored those goals, I was actually cussing Mbappe. I was thinking, this guy what is he doing? But the mentality was elite, I think Harry Kane does have a lot of ability. You can hold the ball up. You can, you even saw it under Jose. Jose got him creating and assisting, I think, the most ever he's ever done.
I rate him. I say I love Kane. I rate him highly. I just don't think he's, what I mean? It's it's hot, world class for me. When I look at a Messi or Ronaldo, like those sort of players who consistent, but it's the hunger that drives them. I look at Kane; he's happy to just stay at top. For me, that's what diminishes it for me. That's what makes me think, do you know what? You with your ability, what a waste! And I hate, when you got a gift and you choose to do nothing with it. Yes, he's going to get this record. Cool, that's fine. But it's like an Alan Shearer. When you think, blimey, how many years has it been since he played? No one's got near his record yet. And he's only got one title. If he'd have gone to Man United when Fergie won it, could you imagine what he would have won? And for me, I just hate waste. I hate it. But yeah, no, he's quality. Yeah, he's quality, and he's going to want to go all out. But it's like you say, luckily for us, and Kane ain't quick. He's got no pace. It's all about stopping that supply line, right? And I think if we can do that, I really like Son. I always have, but again, he's just I don't know what it is. He's not there this season. And when you go throughout their whole team, but I've just got a feeling they're going to raise it against us, man. I just got to and if they don't, then boy, I tell you, they've got some serious problems at that club. But yeah, form goes out the window, didn't it? I just think it's all about us for me. Like if we, it's what we want to do. Like if we worry about Spurs, we could get hurt. If we impose ourselves and play like how we have been all season, Spurs are in trouble. I think we do need to get the early goal because we all know Spurs second half team. So we'll have loads of possession, but it's what we do with that possession, right? So if we can get a couple of early goals, it forces them to come out. And then we could probably go for the kill, but the
only thing that makes me worry a little bit, and I'm not sure if you're going to agree with this, the only two times we've not got the points or we've dropped points this season is against Man United and Newcastle, two teams that allowed us to have the ball, two banks of four, and just said, come on in, break us down, and we struggled to break them down. Once we couldn't play tiki-taka around their midfield and they packed up the midfield and they didn't leave space in and behind for Saka and Martinelli to run into those spaces and get our fullbacks overlapping our wingers, we didn't know how to break them down. And Tottenham, I think under Conte, that fits them. All they need now is their individuals to show up in that game. And they're going to be, like you said, they're going to be pumped. It's a North London derby. If they play that to a T, they can at least stumble us to a draw.
Yeah.
I've not yet seen Arsenal Arteta be able to put out a plan B as to breaking teams down once teams want to sit back and give us all the possession. And it's 2 games now that I've seen that. And he doesn't. And like, listen, we still haven't done enough business in this transfer window. So if, let's say, after 40, 45 minutes, 55 minutes, 60 minutes, we're not breaking them down, Tottenham are sitting in deep and just trying to hit us on the counter, and we're not breaking them down, who have we got on that bench that he can bring on? Because he didn't trust to bring on anyone in that situation against Newcastle. So if he doesn't trust that against Newcastle, is he going to trust Fabio Vieira coming on against Tottenham or Marquinhos coming on against Tottenham? I don't see it. And this is why I'm so annoyed about the bench, because even this manager, when he's coming stuck, he's not looking at the bench and thinking, okay, cool, do you know what? No worries. Plan B, get him on. Right, you start warming up. You're coming on, you're coming on, you're coming. None of that. We put on the defender, we put on the fullback. You know, and that just goes to show that even this manager ain't looking favorably at this bench. And if teams keep looking at these two games, these two fixtures as an example, we're going to get stumbled. And, you know, when you're in the title race, like you said, title race is different gravy. You can't look at a fixture and say, oh, a point will do. No. Every game, you have to aim for 3 points. Of course, you're not going to be able to win every game, but you're going to want at least to have the tools in the bag, the players on the bench to be able to affect the game. Maybe start playing it long. Have a target man, which is why I wanted Mitrovic. Have a Mitrovic up there. Start flinging long balls. I tell you what, it gives them something else to think about when we can't pass around it. But we don't have that. And that is why me and you and other Arsenal fans like us are looking at it and thinking, what happens when we can't break a team down? What happens when Man City are closing in? You know, we've got Tottenham, then we've got Man United, then we've got Man City in the FA Cup, then we've got Everton, then we've got Brentford, then we've got Man City again. Are people convinced that we're going to get all the points that we need to in these next fixtures? And even in the FA Cup against, you know, playing against Man City twice? I don't know.
No, do you know what? It's when you read off the games that we've got coming up, and people say, yeah, but you know they've passed every test so far, bar Man United. Listen, Arteta must turn around in the 50th minute, look at the bench he's got, and start crying his eyes out. And you know, we can all see it north side. I mean, the bench is just. And do you know what makes me laugh, or what makes it even worse for me, right? Even more annoying. We're in a season now where you can make 5 subs. Like the bench is so much more important now, but it also it's a bigger bonus for you. It goes in your favour. It's more, you know. And I noticed it during the World Cup. You know, the substitutes, you're just as important as the players who are starting the game. You know, as 5, you can make 5 subs. Imagine if we'd had a quality bench, you know, or if we added quality to it. You know, games, he's got options. That's why personally I've always been a fan of Giroud. I know a lot of Arsenal fans don't like the guy. But I've always said, you know what, as a plan B, the guy was absolutely perfect, you know, to have scored the amount of goals he did in a team that just was never tailored to him, one little bit. For me, that's impressive. And that's got to be given respect. And I look at a Mitrovic and I think, you know what, that is he's so different to what we've got. But that's what we need. We need a plan B because we have wingers who are just too inverted. They keep coming in. As much as I like Saka, he is very predictable. Martinelli's a little bit more can beat a man. Saka, for me, can't beat a man yet. Yeah? But if we had someone up there like a Mitrovic, yeah, you know, it's all about the width because they try and close us in, don't they? But if we can use the width, get the crosses in, and he's on the end of it like Giroud was, then we can mix it up. Man City can do that. Alvarez is totally different to a Haaland. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's what we need, mate. But again, with every day that's going, we're getting closer and closer to the end of the month. And I'm not seeing any urgency. I'm really not seeing it. It gets done when it gets done. No, I'm sorry. You said it yourself, Northside. These games we've got coming up will determine a hell of a lot. Are we serious about going for the title or will we drop off? Because we're now, you know, we're at the busiest end of the season, right? We're playing Man City twice, you know. And you know what? Everyone's very quickly. Man City lost to Southampton the other night, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you know, that's going to obviously dent confidence, etc." I'll look at it the other way. They've had a reality check, right? Pep would have blasted them in that changing room, and I'll tell you something now. They're going to go all out in the league, because they won't let that happen again, right? They've got a winner as a manager. Yeah, Foden, we all rave about Foden can't get in. Do you know what I'm saying? Can't get in at this moment in time. God, Foden could play as bad as he wants at Arsenal. He'd walk in the team, right? So it's yeah, you have to look at it and think, well, Arsenal, seriously, hurry up, because people are coming for us now. They're banned for our blood, mate. We're up there, so.
Well, after the North London derby, we've got Man United. And we already know the rivalry between Man United and Arsenal. That's the rivalry I grew up on. Man United, Arsenal. You know what I mean? That meant everything. It was either us or them winning the league. You know what I'm saying? And listen, Ten Hag is changing things around over there. And he's getting his transfers spot on. Casemiro, Anthony. He's even getting players like Rashford, a player that I don't necessarily rate that highly.
Yeah.
He's getting him scoring. He's changing it up. Look at the way he dealt with the Cristiano Ronaldo situation. He won that war. So he's getting his decisions correct over there at Man United. And I fear for Man United coming back, slowly to full strength. I don't think it's going to happen this season, but this is what we're talking about. While we rest on our laurels, certain teams are getting their shit together. Man United are starting to get their shit together. So we can't be just there like, oh, well, it's another transfer. Oh, it doesn't matter, because soon enough they're going to be so if they're not already, we're going to be competing for the same players again. Man United are going to start looking attractive again. They're winning games. Yes, not every game they're winning perfectly, but they're getting the wins. They're getting the belief. They've got a style of play. Everything that Man United has lacked for the last 10, 11 years, they're getting back. And Man United always been able to spend more money than Arsenal. So once they get their football correct and they get a structure correct, which it looks like that's what's happening right now, they're going to look attractive again. And then what? Arsenal are not the type of club that like to do bidding wars. Arsenal don't like to get in bidding wars for players. Arsenal doesn't like to do all of that type of stuff. We back away. So at the end of the day, we need to fix up the fixture against Tottenham and then against Man United and then Man City in the FA Cup. That's 3 really hard, tough games, man. And I know the first Man City fixture is in the FA Cup. They're going to try and make an example of us. They're going to try and put us back in they're going to want to try and put us back in our place. What's been our place in the last 20 odd years. They're not going to want us to overleap them. So for me, bro, like I just don't want to see the same crap I've been seeing for 18, 19 years, bro, of just not...
You know what it is? It's not just Arsenal against Man City. It's Pep versus his assistant, right? So, Pep has got that ego, the arrogance. He's got that, he's not going to want his assistant to obviously get one over him. And he's got 2 goes at it. Man United, and look, this is what really bugs me about this club, right? About when I say take advantage. The reason a lot of these big clubs are not doing much this window is because I genuinely believe they are going all out in the summer, right? And they will spend serious money in the summer. Man United, I include them in that. Yeah, they're getting this Weghorst now, this Burnley player, and people are laughing at that. And wouldn't surprise me if he comes in and actually gets some goals. Would not surprise me, because now they've got, I think he's 6'6". So you've got Rashford with the pace, Martial when he's fit, pacey, quick. But they've got a plan B, which is this guy, right? So for me, that could be looked at as a very astute signing. Eric Ten Hag, he ain't no dickhead, right? He's got him for a reason, okay? So, you got that. So let's judge it before we laugh at it. But I honestly think Man United in the summer will go big. And he's done enough to warrant a war chest, right, for me. That's them. Liverpool cannot afford another season like they are now. They got Gakpo, but you know what? That midfield... that requires some major surgery. They will go big, I believe, in the summer. Chelsea are just going to be Chelsea. They will go big no matter what, because they can. They've got the money, right? Man City, as per usual, will get another 2 or 3. That's why they're not doing anything now. So my argument is, well, while everyone else is quiet, why don't we do our business now? If Arsenal went all out this January and was quiet in the summer, but we've won the league, I'll take that. I'll accept. That's fine. Cool. This is more important for me than what the summer is, purely because of where we are in the league. Right now, with these tough games coming up, Man United, they've beaten us once. Listen, I'm telling you now, there is no way these teams are just going to, let us walk all over them or sit back and let us have But they're coming for us. Man, we are the only club that are stopping Man City from getting a title. Difference is, this is unknown territory for us. Man City know this. They're used to this. They've been in those battles with Liverpool for the time. That will go in their favour at some point. And they have a squad their bench would walk into any other Premier League team. Easy. Right? So if that alone, we're up against it. I mean, that's a disadvantage for us, right? So it's easy for me, and we can sit here and say this, and we're not experts. I just look at the experts and I think, how are you not seeing what we're seeing? I don't understand it. I don't get it. You know? Big up Darren Sullivan. Hope you well, Daz. Dazla. Weghorst will do well for United. They are not out of it yet. I'm telling you. Everyone's laughing at this signing. It would not surprise me if he goes there and he actually does the business. It would not surprise me at all. Because he's something different. He's an unknown. Yeah? And he's 6 foot 6.
Door. You know, I don't even know much about that guy, you know, that Weghorst guy, bro. Do you know much about him? Do you rate him?
No, I don't. But you hear Burnley and you think, Burnley? Oh, my God, Man United. But, do you know what? Everyone laughed at. Who was that guy they got? What's his name? From China. The striker. Oh, I forgot his name now. A couple of seasons ago.
Oh, I know which one. The African guy.
Yeah, he was over here, wasn't he? And then he went to China, and then they got him.
What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Daniel,
you're a United fan.
Daniel, tell us.
What's his name? Yo, what was that African striker that you got? The one from China.
Igalo, that's it, Igalo. Thank you, Inti 03. Big up yourself, brother.
That's your boy, innit?
And Lenny Moon, come on. Igalo, that's it. Odion Igalo. But you know what? To be fair to him, he got a few goals, right? So, Ten Hag, I'm telling you, he'll do. Yeah, I think he knows what he's doing.
What's that I'm saying? Yo, come. Are you beating City? Are you beating City this weekend?
I'm very confident.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. This club's got a history, yeah. You lot are seeing greatness. You know it's coming, man. You know there's like a 35% chance that we can win, innit? If we're gonna be realistic. But it's there though. It's there.
No, but mentiroso. You ain't been watching Man United for like 6-7 years, but you locked off.
It's true. The pressure does hurt sometimes, innit? You gotta step away.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
we know that only too well, mate.
Saturday, new day. Hopefully the sun's out. If the sun's out, we're good.
In 10,000 trust, yeah?
What's he on about? The sun. You realise the game's in Manchester, yeah? You're not getting all sun down there. It's rain, boy.
We're gonna need it, man. That's gonna be that extra push.
I'm telling you, this is the history of my family. Yeah, divided Arsenal, Man United. I like Arsenal, Man United. I swear down the stress. I miss them battles, man. But now
I do.
You know how we've been feeling. Now you know how we've been feeling.
But I've been happy, so it's different. Did you get it? It's like we've come down, and I'm just like now. It's like. All right, let me see if there's other things to like.
Okay.
You get me? Then I'll come back, man. I'll come back when it looks like, you know what I'm saying? When it looks like we're doing something, and there's a reason for me to go spend some money.
You're shameless though. You logged off for like 10 years.
I am.
You see these United guys, because he's born into. When were you born? What year?
96.
96. He was born into the great Man United. Do you know what I mean? He never experienced it. So when our demise came, he was laughing at me with my uncle and all that. Yeah, they were laughing first, didn't it? Yeah, but he who laughs the hardest. Yeah. Then when you lot's demise, what happened then?
See, you're only speaking with chess. Because you don't have this is what I'm saying, man. Get some silverware.
Football humbles you.
It does. That's what I'm saying. How you not humble then? You get me? Like, what's going on here, man? What's going on here, man? You gotta be humble.
I'm humble, man. I'm humble. You don't go anywhere. You ain't going home. You're gonna watch the North London derby here.
Oh, you're not playing it? That's Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, we're gonna watch it.
I'm definitely watching that.
Yeah.
I'll probably rather watch that than United City, innit?
Diesel, what's your family? What do your family support? Is it divided Arsenal, Man United, or all sorts?
It's nice. Not this Arsenal and West Ham. So a lot of them are West Ham.
Is it?
Yeah, my dad's West Ham.
Is it?
Yeah, he's West Ham. Yeah, but I'm Arsenal, man. Always have been Arsenal. So yeah, it's weird. I'm so born and bred in Islington, but yeah, my dad had a lot of mates who were West Ham, so he sort of got pulled over there. Whereas,
It it to make sense. What's your excuse for being United? You ain't got a family there.
Yeah, but
You never been there.
You don't know. You know where I come from. Man supported that club because of Ronaldo.
No, you
Ronaldo.
didn't. No, you didn't.
That was it.
Yeah.
There was no glory there.
He didn't want to get smoked by my uncle, yeah, because my uncle will give it to anyone, yeah. If your club is in the demise, bro, he'll make you want to just jump off the cliff. And he knew it was safer to be United, didn't it? Because Fergie was always dominating.
It's not true.
Yeah, it was, man. Yeah, it was.
After how many weeks you'd watch Arsenal games, I'm seeing you leave better upset. I'm like, yo. I was like, is this live? I was like, nah, you know what? Let me pick a team that's got a little something to them. And then that's me, man. Obviously, Ronaldo came down and that was it. I was like, who's this guy?
Nah. You check the league, you keep winning. You keep winning all the time. That's all.
I think it's weird though that it's like the majority of Man United fans are in London rather than Manchester. Do you not find that weird?
Not really, man. We're a big club, you know what I mean?
They're shameless. He doesn't care.
We're a big club, man.
Yeah.
We influence a lot of people, a lot of cultures. You get it.
If
you
you could
fans all over the globe.
Nah. Fans like you can't trust. If you could be Brazilian, you'd be Brazilian. You'd be supporting Brazil for the World Cup. That's the type of fan you are, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No chance.
I can't do that, man. How the mighty are falling, yeah. Glory, Man United.
They ain't even falling like that.
He said we ain't
They
falling.
ain't even falling like that. Like, listen, I go off the silverware, innit? Until you lot catch up on silverware or something, I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
That's like, come on, man.
What do you mean, come on, man?
Nah, man. I can't even get angry. Like, I just don't.
Do you know what it was? Back in the day, yeah, you'd be telling me, yo, don't talk about the past, don't talk about the past. But that's all they got to talk about now. Everything he mentions about Man United glory days, all the past. Yeah?
All right, so what you got? So what you got?
No, but you told me not to talk about
what you got
now.
You
can't talk about nothing.
What you got now?
I haven't said anything.
All right, let's talk about now. What you got?
But I haven't said anything. I ain't pumped up my chest.
So what's all these Arsenal marketing I'm seeing here? I'm seeing all Arsenal in here. What's going on? Visit Rwanda. You been to Rwanda?
You been to Rwanda? Not even, but
you know what I'm saying?
Wakanda, innit? We stand together. But listen, we're gonna wrap up. Listen, people, make sure you like and subscribe to Diesel. The link to his channel is in the
description. Nice one, man. Thank you.
Like and subscribe. Yeah, this is my cousin. Listen, it is what it is. He'll sometimes jump on, but you know, he's not even watching his own club, so he ain't really onto football, innit?
I mean, there's a lot of football this year, innit?
When Fergie walked out, you walked out, innit?
Nah, when Ronaldo left, I was like, what's going on? And then Fergie left, I was like, all right, hold on, give me a second. And then Moyes came in, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here, man?
Give it Giggsy to the end of the season.
Give it Giggsy. He's lot. Hey, man.
Gigs, you know.
Diesel. Who's the better player, Messi or Ronaldo?
I prefer Messi, but I will say that for me, I love them both. I'm more of a Messi lover, but for me, there is no right or wrong in that, man. It's all down to opinion. I think Ronaldo. I think and I've said it so many times. The last 6 months, the disrespect Ronaldo's had, I think it's disgusting. And when I hear about pundits and ex-players coming out and bashing this guy when they couldn't even lace this man's boots, for me, I'm sorry, no. Man United fans loved him like last season, and within months, you're now switching on the guy after what he's done for you guys at 37, taking the piss out of players who are half his age. Nah, I'm not having that. Sorry. Short memories, man.
But let me say one thing, yeah. Ronaldo was great, and Ronaldo is up there in the top 5 best players of all time. But Messi, for me, pips him in everything. Every metric you put up, he pips in, yeah. But for me, you got to be humble, bro. We've seen the greatest players, great players, yeah, have their day, and then also have to just bow down gracefully, innit? And it's mad because Portugal looks better without Ronaldo, and Man United look better without Ronaldo. The thing I don't like about Ronaldo is the arrogance sometimes. And when you're still putting up the numbers, cool, you can be arrogant. But when you start dropping off, bro, be humble. You know what I mean? What's that Kendrick Lamar? Be humble.
I get the humble thing, but when you walk on water, for me, the arrogance is a large part of it. Like, I love Jose Mourinho. He's the most arrogant manager I've ever seen, but he can say what he wants because, look, I've done it. I'm the special one. Like, I'm sorry, we're in a country where you come out and say that, you're going to get bashed by the media. Not only did he come and say that, he done the business. You've got to respect that, man. I'm sorry, you've got to respect that.
Respect.
Yeah. You respect 3 for me, 2 for you. The thing is, yeah, they're no longer that guy though. That's the thing.
I'm like, yeah. Look, all good things come to an end. But I appreciate CVs, and I said to you yesterday, innit, we're in a world now where CVs don't really get recognised. Like Mourinho in the meeting, like you give him his stick, 4 titles, yeah. 0. Yeah, just that alone. He shut everyone up in the room. Like Roy Keane, when he talks and people laugh at him, this is a man who's been there, done it, won it. He's been there and done it, and you're laughing at him. What? Sorry, no. When you've done that and you've been at the top, no one can say shit to you, Northside. I genuinely believe that. I really do believe that.
No one can say nothing to you but the manager, because if you ain't producing, you got a whole bench.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What's your name, fella?
Diesel.
Diesel, yeah. I appreciate you, man. We need you. I'm glad you're in contact with my cousin, because you need to show him. Do you know what I'm saying? The right way.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm trying to teach you. I'm getting there slowly, man, but I'm getting there.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. You know, like that. Come on, man. We'll get there one day. I'll be tired, man.
What do you mean? He agreed with me. Messi's number 1, bro.
Yeah, that's that. But when we
that's that. We had a 2-hour argument. There was
a couple we had to uncover. I'm glad we got to the point. He's still not taking it in, but the night's not over, innit? Let me try and get into him.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So you better be careful, you know. Tomorrow, United are playing tomorrow. What time's the derby? 12:30. Yeah. 12:30. Oh, you connected now.
12.
Interested now.
Obviously.
Look at this guy. Part-time fan. Look at this guy.
I might put a 50p bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta enjoy life a little bit.
Bet Fred.
Come on, let's watch the game quickly, man. If it's scared, turn it off.
You're shameless. I swear, you're actually shameless.
It's half 12, yeah?
I'm not about.
Yeah, it is half 12, yeah.
Half 12, man. Half 12.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what, yeah? If United lose, we're doing a live.
Yeah, come.
We're doing a
lose or win, we'll do it live.
Nah, only if they lose. I ain't got time if they win.
Lose or win.
If they win,
lose and you don't have to win Sunday. I don't want to hear nada.
What's your prediction for the North London derby?
North London, I can't lie. I see a 2-0 for you, though.
2-0, yeah?
2-0. Or maybe a 3-1. They might get a goal.
3-1, yeah, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Either way, Arsenal winning, yeah?
I see Arsenal winning, man.
Cool.
I mean, Spurs look bogus.
There we go, man. There we go. Listen, people. Diesel, love for jumping on, my guy.
I love you, man. As always, come on. Thanks for the invite, bro.
Come on. Listen, people, make sure you like and subscribe to Diesel's channel. Links in the description. And hopefully we get the job done, man. Listen, I don't want to be listening to Dan. You're going to be running up his gums. I ain't got time for it. Arsenal better win, bruv. I swear, I don't even know if I want you to stay over for the North London up.
You know I'm here for you. Come on, man.
It's an Uber auntie.
Nah, this guy just want to piss me off. But anyway, it is what it is. Listen, big up Diesel, big up to everyone for the comments and the interaction. And we're out, kind of.